Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of Lars Mittank, who ended up disappearing, literally running away on July the 8th of 2014 from Varna Airport in Bulgaria. He had been there with a couple of friends on holiday, and sometime during the holiday, a few days before he ran away, he got into a fight with a couple of rival fans of a soccer team that he did not like, and apparently they didn't like the soccer team that he was for either. Either way, they exchanged some blows and he ended up having a ruptured eardrum. Now the friends advised him to go see a doctor about that, so Lars went to see a doctor and they said, oh, you need to take some antibiotics and you probably shouldn't go flying right now because it might help worsen things due to the air pressure changes inside an airplane. So he was like, okay. He went back to his friends. His friends were going to leave the next day. He told them that he was going to be leaving a few days later because of his eardrum issue. They asked if they could stay with him, because a lot of people think that the friends just kind of left. It was like, okay, bye, see you later. But they actually did try to stay with him, but he was like, no, it's fine, just go ahead. I'll be fine. So they left, and he went and booked himself a cheap hotel near the airport called Hotel Color. And initially I suppose he was fine, but then he started calling his mother in a panic and saying that he was being followed and chased and asking her to freeze his credit card, which she did. He was seen on the security cameras of the hotel pacing back and forth, looking frantic and trying to hide in elevators and stuff like that. So he left for some time, and then when he came back shortly after, he went to the airport. He texted his mother that he was going and his phone was about to die, and so she was pretty worried and trying to find some way to get a hold of him or figure out what was going on, but that was the last that she heard of him. Now he went to the doctor. She told him to go to the doctor at the airport to have his eardrum checked out before going on the flight, so he actually did do that. He went to the doctor's office there and the doctor said, okay, it looks good, you can go fly with this the state that your ear is currently in, your eardrum is fine. But then a construction worker came in, and that surprised Lars to such an extent that the paranoia that he had probably been feeling due to what I suspect is a brain injury due to the flight, I'm not really sure, but that kicked up and he suddenly bolted from the airport, which is what's on security camera as well, leaving his luggage behind, climbing a fence and disappearing into the forest. Now, one of the interesting aspects of this case as well is that he was prescribed an antibiotic. He actually didn't take any of the antibiotics, so probably the paranoia that may have been caused by potential brain damage due to the fight made him mistrust the antibiotics, and that makes me wonder what would have happened if he had actually taken them. Maybe the antibiotics could have helped somehow. But in any case, we're going to take a look at the case with the tarot today. We're starting off with the Muse deck, which is currently on screen, which is a very imaginative deck, as you can see, like this. And I picked it because of the imagery. As somebody who has issues with their brain, paranoia, may be seeing all kinds of things, and this deck has a lot of very imaginative, very unusual imagery, which I hope will help get into his mind to see what was going on there. Anyway, the other deck that we're also going to be using today is the Tarot Witcher deck, which is this one. Also fancy, but not quite as imaginative, but still might be able to sneak a peek in his psyche to see what's going on, and perhaps also figure out what happened to him after he jumped that fence and disappeared into the forest, because people have spotted him or claimed that they spotted him, but he's not actually been found. There was a person found in Brazil that looked a lot like him, who had also apparently been traveling around without documentation because he had nothing on him, and he was also blonde and he had grown a beard and looked very unkempt, but that turned out to be somebody else. So we just don't know what's happening with him. So we're going to start with this deck. I'm just going to start shuffling. As soon as we have enough cards on the table, I will stop and then we can take a look at what we've got. So let's get going. Okay, so we've got quite a nice collection here. We're starting off with the Muse of Inspiration. Now, Inspiration is the Wands deck. So this is the Ace of Wands, but it's in reverse. So Ace of Wands is usually like a new initiative. Can also be the start of a new relationship, but usually it's like action. Wands are like a very action, fiery deck. As you can see, there's a lot of fire on the card as well, and it looks as though these two people combine their heads to try and come up with new initiatives, but it's rather the opposite. And I do feel like, also because the moon is in the background, which can sometimes point to lunacy, I think that this means that whatever was in his head inspired him to do the things that he did, but they were not the correct actions to take, which is obviously because he was brain damaged, or at least very disoriented. We have next the Nine of Voices. The Voices is the Sword deck. Next to the Six of Inspiration, so that is the Six of Swords. Oh, Six of Swords, sorry. Six of Wands, so that is the Nine of Swords and the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is like a hero card almost, but the Nine of Voices is worry, a lot of thinking. As you can see, she's spending a lot of time thinking, lost in thought, worrying, and it seems to suggest that, as you can see with the Six of Inspiration as well, that there is a spotlight on the person. Like he really felt like he was the object of a lot of people's attention, so to speak. A lot of people were focusing on him, at least that's what he is worried about. Also, we have the Star here that has a similar energy as well, but that one came up at the second row, so we'll get to that eventually. But it's a similar type of thing, like, oh, everybody's looking at me, and that is a problem. So that's these two. Then we have the Nine of Emotions, which is the Cups, and the Five of Materials in reverse. And the Four of Emotions over there, that's the Four of Cups. So this is like unable to choose. I'm gonna grab all three of these, hang on. Okay, Nine of Emotions, Nine of Cups in reverse. Now the Nine in most suits is a card of being self-sufficient, and in the Nine of Cups version, that would be you're feeling very good about yourself, but it's in reverse, so it's not great at all. And next to the Five of Materials, which is the Pentacles card, and the Four of Emotions, which is the Four of Cups, it's like not really being sure what to do because of the Four of Cups, but also not seeing much options, because the Five of Pentacles is often like a loss card, a bankruptcy card. It may feel like he was, due to being unbalanced, he had no options or very little options, and all he could really do was look at whatever choices he had, but he was not satisfied with his choices either. So we see here that he's making decisions based off of worrying, being focused on, and very unhappy about that, and feeling very lost and out of options. So this is very much the part where he was at the airport, I imagine, and also the evening before when he was calling his mother about needing to freeze his bank accounts, or at least his credit card, etc., because he was being followed according to him. Next row we have the Six of Voices. That is a Six of Swords. Six of Swords is of course a travel card. And next to that we have the Ten of Emotions in reverse, which is the Cups. Again, feeling very bad. And it is a very big focus point. If you look at the card itself, has this big rose-like thing at the top there, which is now on the bottom because it's in reverse. So that Nine of Cups energy from before, that he was not feeling at ease at all, kind of hit a crescendo, I think is the word. Like it really felt that need, because he was extremely unhappy, to move because of the Six of Voices, which is the Six of Swords. Normally that would be a person sitting in a boat being led down the river by somebody else. And again, like I said, the Star is here, so whatever he thought earlier was focusing on him, or whoever he thought was focusing on him earlier, it felt very immediate and urgent in that moment, and that's why he ran off, which is literally here represented by the Knight of Inspiration, which is Knight of Wands, and Death in reverse, both of them. So grabbing these two. Now, the Ace of Wands was already bad idea over here, bad decisions, and the Knight of Wands is really charging off in the wrong direction. Combined with this Death card in reverse, is like unable to close something off, unable to let something go. This thing that he was chasing or felt that he was being chased by was not going to end anytime soon as far as he was concerned. It was not going to let him go. So he decided to charge off on his own. Now, the interesting part about this part of the reading, I do see here a 3 of Cups and an 8 of Materials, which is an 8 of Pentacles. So I'm going to grab these two. This almost looks like the afterwards, the aftermath, so to speak. Because the 3 of Cups is almost like a celebration, joining with friends and stuff like that. And the 8 of Pentacles is focusing on work, focusing on a task. So it almost looks as though after he disappeared into the forest that somebody took him in or something along those lines and gave him something to do. I don't really know who that would be. Maybe we'll see some of that in the Terra Mucha in a moment when we start shuffling those cards. But it's like somebody helped him out, and I'm getting this sense of somebody who went along with his delusions, who maybe tried to give him a new identity or tried to hide him somehow and gave him something to do. That type of thing is what I'm picking up over here. So it looks like whoever he encountered was like, oh, you're being chased? Oh, I've got this thing. I got a place where you can hide. I've got something you can do for me. I got a job that you can do. And if you just focus on this, everything's gonna be fine. So that's kind of what it looks like. Now, I don't know how much attention was given to his case in Bulgaria on, say, TV and radio. I imagine that there were a lot of calls for people to call in if they had seen Lars, and right after he disappeared, he would have looked very much like the pictures that they would be showing on TV, so they may have been aware of this. I don't really know, or maybe they don't have TV. Because he went into a forest, and I can totally imagine somebody living kind of off the grid in that area, maybe thinking, okay, maybe they have a shared delusion. I just kind of thought, like, for a second, because the 3 of Cups is also like almost the same type of people, almost like maybe they themselves were deciding to live off the grid because of reasons unknown, that they didn't want other people to find them. So maybe they just thought, hey, this is somebody in a similar situation to me, and I'm gonna keep him and give him something to do. So let's see if we can find anything about that. So let's grab the Terra Mucha and shuffle some of those and see what we can get. So what happened to Lars after he escaped into the forest? We have here, this looks like Justice reversed. So they may have had their own motives, own motivations for doing this, and they may be aware who Lars is and just decided to hide that fact or hide him in that sense. Like he's not going to, or she, whoever it may be, not going to go to law enforcement to tell them that, hey, this guy that you're looking for is at my place, come get him, like that. To just kind of keeping that a secret. They've judged or decided for themselves that they're going to be the judge, jury, executioner, and they're going to decide what happens next, whoever this might be. What about after that? Okay, we've got the moon, right? Landed right in my hand there. So the moon is also about hiding things, about secrets. So this is very much somebody, combined with the other cards over here, somebody who, like I said, knows who Lars is, and just wants to keep things a secret, wants to keep things hidden. They may have secrets of their own as well that they don't want to reveal either. Maybe they will have to, if they were to turn Lars in, they would have to reveal themselves as well. I think that might be one of the reasons why he's not, or she's not stepping forward. What else can we find out about Lars? Oh, this one's going. We have the 5 of Wands in reverse, and we have the 3 of Swords in reverse. So this looks like trying to keep harmony, trying not to fight, trying not to argue, also keeping other people at bay, which is the 3 of Swords right there. Normally 3 of Swords would be 3 as a crowd. There's somebody in our way, kind of like messing with our vibe, and in this case they're being kept away. Like they're looking very strict as well. This person over there with their eyes staring at this person with a hand raised, like, nope, you are not going to enter this a little group of arrows that we have formed, and we're also not going to fight about it. We're just going to keep things calm. We're going to keep things to ourselves. That's what this looks like. But it's been a few years. 2014, so it's been 7 years since he disappeared. Almost 8. So what's he doing today? What's going on today with Lars? Oh. Today with Lars, let's see, we have the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. So we're back again in that 4 of Cups energy that he was already in back here. So we're still not making up our mind, but it's almost like the harmony that he once had with this person who was hiding him is off balance, because the 2 of Cups is in reverse. So they may be fighting, they may no longer be together as well. He may have left whoever that was, but he's also unable to make up his mind. Maybe whatever caused him to be paranoid has affected his mental state in such a way that he's not sure where to turn to next. Might not even remember exactly where he came from, that type of thing. Like he might be completely lost. But whoever he was with initially, that relationship, that connection is not as good as it was. So can we get anything else about that? That one. Oops, bump the camera there. We got the 10 of Wands next, which is a lot of burden to carry. I'm getting the sense of he may remember who he is, and he might feel like it's too much of a burden to bear to go back to the way things were. Like he might not want to go back to his parents, or feeling like he's upset his mother to such a degree that if we were to return now, it might only cause more grief and stuff like that. I don't know. It seems like he's got a burden that he's carrying. Maybe he's been doing things in these past few years that he does not want others to know. Maybe he's turned into somebody that he's not proud of. But anyway, there's like a burden that he's carrying right now that is probably preventing him from returning. Can we get any more cards about that? Like, is he going to return to known society at some point? He's going to be found. Oh, one flipped and that one fell. Let me see, this one flipped. 4 of Wands in reverse. That is a lack of harmony. And we have the 2 of Pentacles also reversed. 2 of Pentacles usually about making up your mind and striking out for something new. You can see the boats in the background. They might want to travel, but in this case it's not going to happen. So whatever burden he's carrying is causing him to be kind of indecisive. And we have the 4 of Wands in reverse. Like I said, it's like a breaking of harmony, and I don't think that he feels like there can be harmony if he were to go back. Looks like he's certainly not in a harmonious situation right now, it seems, and he's kind of stuck in this 2 of Pentacles mode. Can we get any more information about this case? Oh, we got one. This is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So normally a Knight of Pentacles is somebody who spends a lot of time working very carefully towards a goal, like slow and steady wins the race. But in this case, it's more like that type of energy, but for the wrong reason. Like working very hard to not go the right direction, like making sure, at least, well, according to them, it's probably the correct direction. Like he's probably thinking that he's doing the right thing based on whatever it is that he's told himself, what he knows, what he's been doing. But from the perspective of people who just want to know where he is, it's not the right direction that he's heading into, slowly but steadily. But that's his thought. Is somebody else going to find him at some point? Let's go back to the news deck for that. Is somebody going to find Lars at some point and actually recognize him, bring him back to his family? Oh, 2 of them, or more actually. bunch of them flipped. And there's this one who fell. Oh, it's a Muse card. It is the Muse Materials. It was like this. Well, I'll read it upright then for now. In any case, Muse Materials, whether it was upright or not, it is the Ace of Pentacles. So there is like a new opportunity perhaps on the horizon. So somebody might have an opportunity to go see him, or may have some idea about him. We have the Two of Pentacles again. So it almost looks like this person may have seen him or has some idea where to look, but it's the same Two of Pentacles energy that we have over here. And again, the doubts and the insecurities, uncertainty about whether they do or do not want to go find Lars or expose where he is. They may know something about what he's been up to, this person, and may have the same doubts about whether he should return. But we do have the Magician here and the Hanged Muse, which is the Hanged Man. So this is somebody who could make a difference if only they were to get a different perspective. Like the Magician is normally somebody who's very capable. As you can see, they're able to use all the different elemental energies that are on the platform before them. And the Hanged Man or Hanged Muse is somebody who needs to look at it from a different perspective. Or perhaps they have a different perspective from the point of the average person. Like maybe they feel like over here we have the Two of Pentacles again. So maybe they are in agreement with him that he should stay hidden, and they are very capable at doing so, maybe. But maybe the Hanged perspective or the Hanged Muse is also going to point towards that they will eventually change their mind. Like over here we've got the Two of Pentacles from Lars himself. He's unable to make up his mind and he's steadily working in the wrong direction. But over here we also have the Two of Pentacles, but instead of seeing more of this stubborn, we're going to keep doing this thing that we've been doing this entire time to not go home, we see the Hanged Muse and the Magician. So maybe they will come to some sort of insight, because the Hanged Man is always about new perspective and maybe taking a break, almost like the hermits, just retreating a bit and looking at it from different directions and different perspectives, different types of people. And they may come to the realization that actually this is not the right way to go, but we should do something else, which is where the Wizard comes in, or the Magician, who may have different ideas and ways of bringing things about. I want to draw one more card to see about the future. One or two, depending on what wants to drop, obviously. Oh, flipped. Two of them flipped. We have the Queen of Voices in return, in reverse, and we have, is there something underneath here? No, it's just one card. And the Eight of Emotions, Eight of Cups, and the Queen of Swords in reverse. So after this Wizard energy, Magician energy, I keep saying Wizard. After the Wizard energy over here, we see the Queen of Voices in reverse, which is the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords can be very manipulative and definitely knows what they want and knows how to get it by talking people into it and thinking their way in or out of things. Followed by the Eight of Cups, which is a walking away energy. I guess you can see they're walking further into the desert, heading towards this black hole, almost like heading into oblivion. So whoever this person might be, even though they have a change of mind, they may not be doing the right thing after all. Like maybe they'll have different ideas about what's going to happen next, or what should happen next, and maybe they've also just decided, or will decide after a while, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave it all behind. Could also be that they're going to use their words to manipulate Lars into leaving his own plans behind, because the reversed Queen of Swords is very good at manipulating people with words and planting thoughts in their heads, and the walking away energy could in this case indicate that he's going to drop his plan, because they are the Magician, this person, so they're very good, they're very knowledgeable, they're very they have a lot of agency themselves, they're able to do a lot by themselves, and this might be the results, this might be the spell that they conjure up over here as a Magician to try and get Lars to do the right thing. So maybe eventually we'll see some more info about Lars. He might be pushed into returning to his old life to at least let his family know what's going on with him, what's happened, and how he's doing now. So that is what I'm seeing for Lars Mittank. I hope you found that interesting. In any case, make sure to leave a comment and a like. That really helps the channel along. I hope to see you in another video. And if you want any more readings suggested, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section about that as well. I'll put them on the list and we'll get there eventually. Either way, make sure to stay healthy and stay safe. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.